Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching. Now, today's video is going to be on technological advancement in the shooting sports and kind of what we can expect going forward. And I've had it on my mind to do a video about this for some time, but I've never just really had the gumption to go out and make it. Well, today we have that kick in the pants. We have the chutzpah, and the impetus is with us, mostly in the form of coffee. Now, all joking aside, substance abuse is not a laughing matter. It's not cute to drink a whole bunch of caffeine. It's not good for you. What I'm really referring to is that you guys have been talking. I read all your guys' comments, or at least all the comments that YouTube serves up to me. And y'all have been talking a lot on my video, Objectively Superior Cartridges, which is a video where we discuss the differences between 7.62x39 and 300 Blackout and which one's better. Y'all had a lot to say on that video. Some good stuff, some bad stuff, some ugly stuff. But in particular, I wanted to focus on a couple comments that I felt, I don't know if they were necessarily insightful, but they incited me to do some thinking. And the first one went something along the lines of, how on earth can you compare a cartridge that was conjured in the 40s to a cartridge that it hails from the late 2000s? And the idea being that 7.62x39 is like the OG cartridge. 300 Blackout does roughly the same thing. And because there isn't that much difference between the two of them, 7.62x39 is clearly superior because it came first. There's a major assumption there. And that assumption is where this person trips up. The assumption is that progress is linear. Or said another way, the rate of progress is consistent. And that's just simply not true, at least not all the time. Now, we see this in some fields like study of the cosmos and things like that. What it comes down to is the percentage of knowable stuff about something relative to where we are technologically to achieve those advancements. And the idea is that there's a whole bunch of space, as in we don't know a whole lot about something relative to the amount of stuff there is to know, then we can progress rather rapidly. We can make major leaps and bounds in those fields of study. And usually when we're studying that thing, each piece of information that we uncover radiates off in a direction that generates a new field of study. If we bring that home to the shooting sports and firearms technology, it's getting pretty tight in here. And what that means is that each discovery is going to be incrementally smaller and smaller. Not necessarily less significant or more significant, just we've not got a whole lot of room left until we start making ray guns and stuff like that. As an example, look at the guns that were being used in the 1920s, and then compare those to the guns that were being used in the 1940s. Do the same thing with guns that were being used in 2000 to the ones that are being used today. See what I'm talking about? However, I think that we discount the lessons of the previous tech at our peril, especially when it comes to the conjugations of modern munitions. And what I mean by that is take the 7.62x39 versus 300 Blackout comparison. All of the advancements of 7.62x39 are givens for the people who came up with 300 Blackout. They got to look at 7.62x39 and be like, hey, what does this cartridge do right? Let's grab those. But what does it do wrong that doesn't really jive with what I would call modern munitions philosophy? And let's just fix that thing that's broken. What we end up with is a narrowing of the scope of the question. And I would argue that those finer questions end up being substantially harder to answer than some of those larger ones. Now, the larger ones might have been difficult at the time due to technological restraints, but technology has a way of kind of just filling gaps. It's like a self-replicating machine. It's utterly terrifying, the rate of advancement that we've got in today's day and age. But when you look at some of those fine questions that still exist, and you see that technology has not quite filled them yet, you're left with the question, why wasn't this done right the first time?
Have you guys seen any ads on the channel lately? I can't find them anywhere. Crap. That's why I'm doing my best to bring to your guys' attention things like this headlamp from PowerTech. You can find discount codes and things like that over on our Linktree and full affiliates page, link in the description box down below.
And then the spirit of the second comment that we've got on screen right now will take us up to the end of today's video. And what it really breaks down to is that dedicated members to the cult of 7.62x39 believe that the answer to the world's problems is to pack their cartridge into a more ergonomic rifle. The assumption being that that's even possible. And I think at first I need to say that I think at this point in time, if we're being intellectually honest, I think everybody will accept that the layout of the controls of things like the AR-15 are ergonomically superior to things like the AK-47. If we're being intellectually honest. I'm not saying that you can't bridge the gap with training, but the AR is easy. So easy to the point where that has become the default layout of the controls for modern guns around the world. There's really two problems that we come up with here. And the first is that modern carbine configurations, the thing that we've basically settled on for the dimensions of a standard gun, really, are not designed to accommodate 7.62x39. And yes, we're talking by 39. A lot of the cartridges that these are designed for are by 4.5. So it's not a length problem, it's a girth problem. If you look at the case head dimension of a 7.62x39 and compare it to, for instance, take the AR-15 bolt. If you look at an AR-15 bolt that's been hogged out for a 7.62x39 cartridge, the sidewalls of that bolt are super paper thin. And that just results in a higher parts breakage, especially in conjunction with steel-cased ammunition and stoppages. And you're like, oh, well, they make brass case. Yes, they do. But if we're being intellectually honest again, then most of us, by and large, are purchasing steel-cased 7.62x39 ammunition. Economy. So what you end up having to do is move up to a larger class of gun to get a larger bolt so you have more meat to mill out. And that just simply results in a larger, heavier, bulkier firearm to use 7.62x39. The second problem results from the original design choices for an extreme taper on the 7.62x39 cartridge compared to what I would call modern munitions. That taper, while one of 7.62x39's strong suits, results in a magazine that has to be quite a bit curved. The problem with modern magwells is that a lot of them are straight. And when you try to stack 7.62x39 cartridges and an AR magazine, what you end up with is something like this. And this thing sucks. It doesn't work.